Hey, Magic friends, this is the Captain speaking here on Captain Clyde's MTG. We have Crimson Vow spoilers for October 30th. Are they good? We've only got a couple of them, but there's a lot of promising stuff in here. Just as I was glancing through, as I was cut and pasting my paint way into the world. Anyway, with that said, guys, remember like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It really does help support the channels. It helps me keep going. And remember, Crimson Vow is going to have a little bit of a, let's call it a distribution problem, if you can believe that. And because of that, I may get a delay on my box opening series for this one. But let's hope not. Keep our fingers crossed. I'll let you know and keep you up to date on that because I know I want to crack these boxes as soon as I can. And in the description below, you'll see a link to my eBay store where all my box opening videos, the cards for those go for sale on the store as soon as I get a first chance at it. Also, there is a email link if you want to reach out and touch me because I get tired of touching myself. But also, I have two sweet boxes, one Double Masters, two Modern Horizons, two set booster boxes. Prices are in that description if you want to work something out. I can open them on the channel for you. Um, and the price listed in the description includes shipping. If you're not okay with that, I am more than happy to make a private auction just for you on eBay. But then I lose money and then I have to charge you tax. So, eh. So, do what you wish. But as we move on now, put them trade tables and seat backs to fill up right position because the captain's going to take you through this set of spoilers. So let's start off with the first things, which are not in English because why would they be? So here we have an uncommon called Frantic Devils. It's a red and 4 colorless. Has haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Frantic Devils get +2/+2 in a turn. So as a 3/3, it's okay. This is going to be fine in draft and sealed, limited, things like that. This is not going to be a player in standard 5 mana for a 3/3. Um, that only gets powered up by something else is just not what you want to be, where you want to be at. Probably not going to be anything in Commander. Definitely not in Modern back in the older formats because once again the price is just too high. But it is some good sealed and draft filler space. So moving on to the next thing, not in English, we have the Undead Butler. A black and 1 for a 1/2. It's a zombie. When an Undead Butler comes in the battlefield, you mill 3 cards. When Undead Butler dies, you may exile it. If you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So this is very interesting. This is going to be fantastic in the draft sealed environment just because the ability to get back one of your bomb creatures once this thing dies is amazing. There may be a little bit of gameplay for this in standard. I don't think so though, but we'll have to wait and see how the mechanic comes around with the rest of the cards. I don't think it's going to be played in anything else because really Stitcher Supplier is really the one drop 1/1 that mills 3 and dies and mills another 3. Putting things back into your hands not the best thing in the world. Plus, if it gets exiled, it doesn't work. So it probably will be good in Commander. Definitely see some draft play. Standard, I'm gonna say no, but I'm on the fence. I could see where it could be usable. So, and the next one we have is in Chicken Scratch, which actually says Engulf the Tide. So Engulfing Tide is 2 blue and 2. It's a great picture. Sorcery, each player chooses a non-land permanent they control. Return all other non-land permanents to their owner's hands. Then draw a card for each opponent with more cards in hand than you. Very interesting. I can definitely see this being good in draft sealed formats. Just because it basically gives you a reset. Um, if they get ahead of you, you can reset. They pick everything up. Obviously, they're going to have more cards in hand than you because they have more stuff, so you get to draw a card. Uh, but since it says each opponent, I can see this is going to be a great commander card for blue decks. So I think it's probably easily going to be a $5 card just because of commander. Will it see standard play? Definitely not. There's no reason for this to see standard play because other things just kill stuff on the board for 4, which is probably better. Also, not to mention, this is blue and a sorcery, so if it was an instant, I'd definitely be on board. But since it's a sorcery, I'm going to say no. And obviously, 4 mana is way too much for the older formats, so. Moving on, next, we have the Pack Song Cub. So this is very interesting. We have a green and a 1 for a 1/1. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control another wolf or a werewolf, put a +1/+1 counter on the Pack Song Cub. when the pup dies, you gain life equal to its power. So I don't know if this is going to be good in sealed and draft because of this is a vampire set and this is a wolf. This should have been in Midnight Hunt. Um, but there are werewolf decks out there in standard this might be good enough for just because 2 mana it becomes very big very fast. Um, it probably will be okay in draft and sealed if you got enough wolves to go with it, but I'm still just eh. I don't think it's gonna see any other play other than that. It might see some Pioneer play if there's a good werewolf deck in Pioneer. That's probably gonna be all she wrote though for this one. Moving right along. Here we have Rending Flame, red and 2. Rending Flame deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If that permanent is a spirit, Rending Flame deals 2 damage to that permanent's controller. This is going to be great in sealed. 3 mana to deal 5 damage, and it's an instant. This is the kind of removal that you're looking for. In standard, I think it's going to have its spot. I'm not saying it's going to be the be-all, end-all because there's all kinds of black stuff and other things that just kill stuff on the spot. But in red, this is a great removal card for 3. So it may be a thing. I would say it would be good in modern, but it costs too much. Plus, you already have Unholy Heat, which is way better than this as long as you can get to your get it to 6. So I don't see it being very good there. It might be good in Pioneer. I think it may be pretty good. It might be a card for Commander. I don't really think so though, just because 3 mana might be a bit much for it. But we'll see how it plays. But I definitely think this will be played in Standard to some degree, and it's going to be a great sealed limited card. Next, moving on here, we have a flip card. We have the Innocent Traveler. It's 2 black and 2 for a 1/3. It's a human, and then it says at the beginning of your upkeep, any opponent may sacrifice a creature. If no one does, you get to transform it into a 3/3 flyer, and it gets +2/+0 as long as an opponent controls a human. So it can be a 5/3 flyer. This is probably going to be fine in draft and limited, but I don't think it's going to be any good anywhere else. Just because 4 mana is way too much. Maybe it might be good in Commander. Maybe. But yeah, I don't see this scene play anywhere else. Just doesn't do enough. Moving on. Alright, we have another white mythic. We have the Cemetery Protector. So for 2 white and 2, you get a 3/4 with Flash. Pretty interesting. So when it comes into play, you get to exile a card from a graveyard. Okay? Whenever you play a land or cast a spell, if it shares a card type with the exile card, create a 1/1 white human creature token. So that's pretty cool. So this could be good to get your opponent's cards or get a card out of your graveyard, especially if you're running a humans deck. So I think this is probably going to see some play in standard, just because whenever you play a land or cast a spell, like it's non-inclusive. So like you can make 2 spirits a turn, or 2 1/1 white humans a turn if you wanted to. I just think this is going to be a really good card for standard for white Winnie on the high end. It's going to be really good in Commander, and definitely going to be a bomb in sealed draft limited formats. Moving on. Next we have, look who's back, boys. It's Valorous Stance. 1 white and 1. You get to choose 1. Target creature gains indestructible or destroy a creature 4 or greater. This is a reprint from, let me think. Somewhere in the Khans range, Khans era. And back then, this was one of the bomb cards, just because it lets you protect your creature or destroy creatures. So I wonder if this is going to see the same kind of play it did before, because this was a main starter in a lot of decks that played white. So let's see what happens, but it's nice to see this card get reprinted. It needs a little more love. Moving on, we have the Investigator's Journal. So this is an interesting one. It's a 2 colorless artifact. And it's an artifact clue, so you can sacrifice itself as a clue. So remember that, guys. This counts as a clue when you sacrifice it. But anyway, when the journal enters the battlefield, it enters the battlefield with a number of suspect counters on it equal to the greatest number of creatures a player controls. Wow. It says a player controls, so if you have 3 creatures, it gets 3 counters on it. For 2 and removing a suspect counter, you can draw a card, and you can sacrifice it to draw a card as well, just for 2 and not tapping it. So this is going to be an amazing card for Commander. I don't see how every Commander deck doesn't run this just because of the card draw and things like that. Plus, with multiple people, it can come in with many, many, many suspect counters on it. I think it's going to be great in standard, especially for those control decks. It's going to be a bomb in any kind of limited format because the ability to draw cards is really something sweet. Um, I don't think it's going to see anything outside of that as far as the older formats go. Might be good in Pioneer. Uh, but to be honest with you, just the fact that it's a clue and it can be activated as a clue may give this card more play than we think right now. So I do like it. I think it's pretty sweet. Moving on. Next here we have another flip card. We have Biolume Egg. So for a blue and 2, you get an 0-4 with Defender. When it enters the battlefield, you just scry 2. It's already pretty sweet right there. When you sacrifice the egg, you get to return it to the battlefield, transform under its owner's control at the beginning of your end step. And then when you do that, it becomes a Biolume Serpent, where you sacrifice 2 islands and it can't be blocked this turn. This is going to be pretty cool, I think, for limited formats, just because of 0-4 Scry 2, it's a great defender. Um, the caveat of having to sacrifice it may make it really hard to use, depending on what kind of things we have to use for sacrifice. I can't think of them off the top of my head, and the whole set's not out yet, so there may be a good sacrifice card in the set that makes this a real good theme, so you have availability for easy ways to sacrifice. But all in all, I think it looks like a really good card. I mean, if you play black blue, you play Village Rites or the 2 black one that sacrifice a creature or artifact, get a treasure token, draw 2. Like you literally could on turn 4 draw 2 cards, make a 4/4 like for free basically. Like I think this card has lots of potential, but we're gonna have to see. It's also out of Bloodchief's Thirst range because it's 3, not 2. So I think this card's got some legs. I think it's really cool. Unfortunately, it is in blue, so we're going to have to see what kind of weird blue decks emerge in this new format to see if this is going to be a powerhouse or not. Moving right along. Oh, look at that, fellas. We're already out of spoilers. Well, it was a short day today for a Saturday, but that's okay. Thanks a lot for watching. I do appreciate it. Put some comments down below. Tell me what you think. Do you like anything that you've seen so far? Also, if you want any advice or anything, email me, put it in the comment sections. I'd love to respond. As always, guys, remember, until next time, be kind, and I hope to see you across from the pre-release game table. Until next time, guys, I'll see you then.